Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Finch. I'm the Public Information Officer for Will County, Colorado, and I am here with Dr. Joe Sertich from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. He's a curator of dinosaurs, and so happy to catch up with him because he has had a busy summer, and thought we'd check in on him and see what he's been doing. Dr. Joe, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Just got back from digging dinosaurs in southern Utah.
Sounds exciting. How did that go? What were you doing out there? What are you looking for or have found?
Yeah, I've been working down in southern Utah for the past 17 years now. This year we did a Colorado State University field course there. And so we had two different classes of students come through over about 2.5 weeks. We were working in a unit of rock in Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument called the Kaparowitz Formation, which is about 10 million years or so older than Pops. So these are rocks that have a lot of the ancestors of things like horned dinosaurs, duck-billed dinosaurs, and early tyrannosaurs. And so we're trying to explore what the Rocky Mountain West looked like during that entire late Cretaceous period.
Wow, 17 years. So this is an important piece to your career and an important piece to the puzzle of paleontology overall, I would guess.
Yeah, and it's one of those relatively poorly explored areas in the United States, and we find new dinosaurs and major new skeletons almost every time we go out. This past trip, we were working on a huge bone bed of a horned dinosaur, so one of Pops's ancient ancestors,
Mhm.
and it was a dinosaur called Cosmoceratops. So Cosmoceratops, spelled with a K, had funny horn-like bangs that flipped over the back of its frill and little horns off the side, and then it had rainbow-shaped brow horns instead of the long straight ones that Pops has.
Oh, fascinating. So when you're out there and you're exploring and you're digging, were you able to bring anything back with you?
We did. The students from CSU were amazing. They collected tons and tons of bones. We found chunks of the beak, chunks of the frill, and a lot of the skeletons. So we have many of the limb bones, a lot of the ribs and vertebrae of several individuals. We now think there are at least four and maybe up to 6 or 8 individuals in this bone bed. It's just a big cement mixer of bone and rock and snails and clams and things like that.
Oh wow, that's fascinating. So when you do something like that and you're out there and you're digging up and this goes to which will be a surprise to no one, my inexperience in what you do, but I imagine you're there and you're seeing this stuff and you're digging it out and then you're bringing it back. How does it work when you're out there? Are you photographing so that you know where you found the pieces? Like I just imagine coming back with a bunch of puzzle pieces and then trying to remember and figure out where you had found them and what they might attach to. How does it work when you're in the field?
Yeah, when we're doing an excavation, especially on a site as complex as a bone bed, where you have multiple dinosaurs all jumbled together and mixed up, is we have to be really careful about mapping. And so we bring in a grid square and we map every piece of bone, especially the big chunks of dinosaur bone that we think will go back together, into a huge comprehensive map that spans multiple years. So this is our 5th season digging this site. We've got to link this map into the old maps. And hopefully, when it's all said and done, we can tell where certain individuals are most likely to have been scattered within this. And so we can associate those skeletons. We can bring those bones, whether it's a thigh bone and an arm bone with a skull, all together and say this is one part of one individual. So there's a lot of that analytical work that goes on. And that's what we were teaching the students. So the CSU students were learning firsthand how to make those scientific observations about the rock, about the features within the rock, and then also mapping this so that we can come back and put this big puzzle back together over multiple years.
Wow, that has to be exciting, especially for a student to be a part of that. That's really nice that you're able to do that. What's your favorite part? I mean, obviously finding bones is exciting, but when you're bringing for example, a group of students or when you and your team go out on these digs, what do you enjoy most about doing that, being out in the field?
Well, once you're out in the field in a field setting and you're cut off from all the distractions of the modern world, no computers, very little cell phone service, you become a family. And so when you spend 7 straight days with strangers, you get to know every bit of their personality and their bodily functions and everything that's going on out there. And so we become this amazing family. It becomes very cohesive. You make friends, you meet people, And you go through lots of really difficult situations. So we were out during the monsoon seasons. Almost every day we had huge storms coming through with lightning, flash floods. So we're all helping each other get back through flash flooding rivers and crossing streams and slipping down mountainsides. And so all of that really leads to a level of cohesion that you don't get anywhere else. I really love that aspect of digging in the field.
That's great. Thank you for giving us an update on that. I knew you were gone and I kind of dropped the ball on the social media part because I got tied up in some other projects. So I'm sure people are wondering like, what the heck's happening? Where'd they go? So this will be a good update for everyone and we'll get back on track with everything, including so while you were gone doing those exciting things, I had an exciting event that was a good reminder for me on how energetic small children are and how many questions they ask.
Yes.
The Pooter Learning Center here in Greeley and Weld County, they had a wonderful event. They have one the first Saturday every month and encourage families to come out and engage in science activities. And so I worked with Ambrette Gilkey at the Pooter Learning Center. She wanted to put together an event where dinosaurs were the focus. And so we got to bring our pop stuff out and uh, I'll share a few pictures here in the video. I'll edit them in, but the Pooter Learning Center is a great place here in Will County for kids to learn about nature and ecology and just get outside and get dirty and it was great. And the fascinating thing is that the Learning Center made Triceratops bones out of clay,
Uh-huh.
and they have created a big area, a little sand pit, and they have somehow adhered the bones in there, covered them up with sand. And so what the kids got to do is a little bit of what you got to do this summer. So the kids would go out, they had it squared off in grids, and the kids would take their little brushes and brush away the sand, and they would reveal a bone, and they just had so much fun doing that. We had trivia questions, a scavenger hunt. There was different learning stations about fossils and casting and about Weld County, and then I got to do the art one, and so yes, this is my paper plate Triceratops, complete with popsicle sticks, because no craft is really done without popsicle sticks. So
Yeah.
so it was great. We had a lot of families and a lot of kids come out and everyone had a really great time. So I want to thank the Pooter Learning Center for inviting us out and doing that. We're talking about doing something else in maybe October, maybe another pumpkin painting, carving contest. So stay tuned on that one. So that was a lot of fun. And then you can see this cutie patootie behind me. So in Greeley, we have something called Monster Day. And we are fortunate enough to have an amazing couple, Ed and Marcia Edmonds from Distortions Unlimited. They make all the scary creatures and animatronics that you find in those professional haunted houses. And they're located right here in Greeley, and you can go to their website and see all of that. But years ago, they approached the city, the Visit Greeley and the chamber with an idea about Monster Day. And the plan was to pair an event with an organization called Don't Be a Monster. And it's an anti-bullying organization teaching kids, how to stand up for themselves, how to just promote being nice, decent human people, and not to bully and whatnot. And it's a great resource. They go into the schools and they give presentations and whatnot. So that's how Monster Day started. And Ed and Marcia, because they have a talented crew over there, they've always made a monster for Don't Be a Monster Day. And this year it's Popsicle. They wanted to tag on with the Pops the Triceratops project, so they've made this little guy here, and he's been debuted and showing up in a few places around town. And Monster Day is August 21st this year, so he will be there. There's a Halloween costume contest. It's just a fun time. So I'm really excited about that, and just really happy that they wanted to help on the Pops project in their own way. So it's been fun to bring the community together on these, whether it's a learning center or Monster Days. So stay tuned. If you want to learn more about Monster Day, you can go look them up at Monster Day Greeley on Facebook, and they have a Monster Day website and such too. So that will be fun. Dr. Joe, you are more than welcome to come up. We will
I'd
have
love
some
to.
brochures and information about POPs. We'll probably take one of probably the picture behind me that Andre did. We may print that a little larger so people can kind of see about it, but also learn more about POPs. I also got to do a little bit of shopping. So we've got fans and temporary tattoos. There's lots of games for kids at this event, so they wanted to have some prizes for these various games. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'll share pictures. I know we have a lot of people who aren't nearby who won't be able to come, but we'll share pictures. It's a great event, so that's going to be a lot of fun. The last thing, which everyone is waiting for, is our Pops Art Contest. We have not forgotten about you. As you've heard, summer got a little busy, and so we will announce winners next week, and we will show all of the art starting next week with the winners, and then we'll showcase everything the following week because there's a lot of amazing art. What did you think, Dr. Joe? I know you're wrapping up a little bit on the last few entries, but what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Yeah, the entries came in right before I left for the dig down in Utah, so I had a chance to quickly scan through them, and then over the past few days, I've been going through them in more detail, and they are absolutely amazing. Every single category has clear front runners, but also some really close seconds and thirds. It's really hard to make decisions as a judge on which ones to choose from each of those categories. I love them all. I don't want to say that there's one winner.
Yeah, that was the same feeling from Jerry and Terry and Katie who came up here to Weld County. I've shared a few pictures. I'll share some more, but yeah, the Mapelli daughters they loved them all. They didn't want to pick any winners, which is understandable. So that'll be exciting news. Stay tuned. We will get that wrapped up and acknowledge everyone because there was some amazing stuff. I had the pleasure of seeing it as it was coming in, and each time I opened up my email, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is wonderful!" And it uh, just kept going. The work you guys did was incredible. So I want to thank everyone for entering. Um, and it's just amazing to me how this is spread across the world. And that means a lot. I think it means a lot to Dr. Joe. I know it means a lot to me and then Mapelli's, their daughter or their son, their father, Sonny. I'm out of practice on this. Their father, Sonny, I think would have really just been extremely pleased with. He always wanted this fossil to be a point of education and a point of community pride. He wanted people to learn about the fossil and learn about this area, and I think he would just really be happy to know exactly how far it's spread. So I want to thank everyone who's participated in that.
And there's so much more that we're going to do that's going to be exciting with the science and with more of the outreach bringing pops back. It's going to be really cool over the next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we will schedule another Ask Dr. Joe. We'll open it back up to questions, have you guys email in questions so we can find out more. But we wanted to give a quick update this go around. So stay tuned to the social media platforms, and I promise I'll do better. I will put more stuff out in a more consistent basis. I think we're over the weirdness that can be summer with traveling and projects and
Yeah.
family. Sometimes things get a little lost, but school's starting back in, and I believe you'll be back up at CSU for the spring semester, correct?
I'll be teaching again another field course next spring, and I'll have a full paleo course again the following year. So lots and lots of teaching up at CSU back in Northern Colorado.
That's great. So for those that aren't familiar, CSU is about 40 minutes from where Pops was found. So it's all part of the Northern Colorado region. So I think it's fantastic. It's that there's all these connections being made. So I want to thank you, Dr. Joe, for your time and giving us this update. And I'm looking forward to seeing the results so that we can announce all the winners and share all this beautiful artwork that we've been seeing. So thank you so much, and we will chat soon.
Great. Yeah, I look forward to everyone's questions too the next time we do this.
Great. Thanks.